Hey, we're here. Can you believe it? Sitting in with Steve Balthrop, Ovation Sport, TABC Clinic. I'm looking out around the room, and just right off the top, I see one of my great friends, Stuart Dixon. I have to say this. I love to say this about Stuart. One of the few people walking the planet that can high jump over 7 feet.
Wow.
I mean, how many people on planet Earth can high jump 7 feet? But no offense, Stuart, we didn't come to talk about that. We came to talk about basketball. That's what we're doing here now.
Well,
But I want you to come back and sit in that chair because we're going to talk. But what a deal this is. Uncharted waters. Welcome to the Backroads Basketball podcast. Are we going to call it a podcast? Yeah, I guess so.
I think I already told a couple of people, yeah.
Yeah, let's call it a podcast. This is our presentation. This is our celebration about all things basketball in the state of Texas. And I've had so much help putting this together, starting with this man to my left, Steve Balthrop, who I used to coach with. Steve, don't tell me how bad that was. I just want to think it was good. But you were a part of my very first high school basketball coaching staff. And I'm not just saying this because you were here, but you are and you were an amazing coach, and I thank you so much. And now you're helping putting this big-time booth together. So thank you, Steve, for being here.
Well, I appreciate you having me here. It's been fun already. It's nothing better right now. We get set up, and I see that we're put right next door to the officials table. I thought that was great.
There is some irony. We can't get away from these darn referees.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get them over here and butter them up later, that's for sure.
It never gets old just listening to you talk about, like, stories that you have about officials. So I've already had a good laugh about already one of the stories that you said. I don't know if we'll say it on here.
Well, in all seriousness, thank you for your part in this. You're providing some great Backroads Basketball T-shirts for the coaches that are wandering around here. If they'll stop and visit with us, they can get a shirt. And, of course, you and I do a lot of stuff together through my role as a coach at Cedar Park High School. And you guys, seriously, y'all do an amazing job. I mean, obviously, you and I have a great relationship, and your wife, Chris, y'all just jump through every hoop to make everything perfect. And I know you do that for everybody else.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of, we try to do the side of it of me being a coach to just kind of understand what you guys need, and especially what you need. And I know sometimes that you got so many other things that are going on that, my side of it is just to try to make it as easy for you as possible. We'll do stores for you where really all you have to do, you don't have to deal with money or any of that. We just basically do all that stuff for you and give you the T-shirts or whatever you need, and then you hand it out, and then you're done with it. So that's kind of what we try to focus on, making your job a lot easier.
Well, that's what's amazing is that you've been on both sides of it. You've been on the delivery, you've been on the receiving side of getting that job done, and then you're on the side of making sure the job gets done. So you do know what coaches want, and you know that they wanted it yesterday. And all those things. So y'all do an amazing job, and I hope that especially the local San Antonio coaches will give you guys a call and, use you because y'all do amazing stuff. You really do.
That's the other thing, too, is like we take pride in trying to be local and trying to help everybody out, around that's close. And even with you guys in Austin, we try to make it where we can get as close to you as possible and help you guys out. And, at the end of the day, I'm sure you would agree, it's really to try to help you guys, to try to help the kids, and that's the most important thing is what we can do to try to help the kids out and make it the best experience possible for them.
Well, the kids love the gear. They love it when it looks good. Y'all make that happen. Ovation Sport right here in San Antonio. If you go to my website, backroadsbasketball.com, you will see a section to your left where it's got a little menu, and you can pull up the partners that we have for Backroads Basketball, Ovation Sport being one of them, linked to their website. They've got stuff going on there right now. So it's great. It's great, and I hope everybody gives you guys a chance. Do we want to tell a story about Cedar Park basketball back in the day? I mean, I was talking to Steve about how you got hired, but weren't you you were at the middle school, right?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I was at Cedar Park Middle School for 3 years. and then you came in, and I was coming in the same year.
Exactly.
And just a little story, I coached, you coach basketball in Texas, you coach football as well.
Exactly. Yes.
And you were coming from, remind me again of the college that you were coming from.
Well, the 1 year directly ahead of Cedar Park was Ouachita Baptist in Arkansas. Yes.
I said Ouachita is what I always said.
Ouachita. I remember that.
But so I remember we had a party, and it was a coach's party, and I was a football coach as well. And we were at one of the football coaches' house, and you were there, and that was really kind of the first time that we had hung out before. And I remember we were all sitting down, and you learned that I was the basketball coach, and you were really excited, and you kind of started saying, well, are you one of those regular football coaches that just coaches basketball, or are you a basketball coach? And I was just kind of looking over my shoulder because I just kind of started. I just moved up to the high school. I was like, well, Coach, I'm a basketball coach. Let's kind of cool it a little bit. You're going to make my job a lot tougher.
Well, yeah, I'm still, 20 years later, I think I'm still learning how to navigate those waters. But yeah, you were awesome. I was so fortunate. I was telling Steve the story as we were driving over here about how you got hired and moved in, the same year I did. So it worked out for all of us.
Yeah, I still have people to this day when they ask, when I moved to San Antonio, when I said I was at Cedar Park, the first thing they say is, well, why did you leave? I was like, well, I got married. It was a good thing, but it was tough to leave. I was definitely not crazy about it all the way.
Yep, those things happen. Yep. Those things happen. Well, we're gonna continue to make this booth hopefully a big event at the TABC Clinic. It's the first time we've ever done anything like this, so we're learning. We hope it's a good experience for our coaches that come by. That's what this is about, is honoring the coaches and the game. I'm a big basketball historian. We can talk about things. We can talk about the cool scoreboard that we have and all these great moments in the past, but really we want to make sure the coaches feel special this weekend, because they are the best people I know are coaches. They work hard, they're doing things for other people constantly, and that's what this is about.
I agree. I totally agree. They're definitely not doing it for the money.
Definitely not doing it